Hello, this is Rich. In this task, we're going to continue spawning our entity through code. We left off by getting the entity class that we want to spawn by using the entity system, getting the class registry, and go ahead and finding our class by name. So let's continue. Scroll down a little bit. We're going to make sure that we get the rotation, an optional friendly name we want to give our entity, and add the position and the scale. So let's go ahead and add the rotation. We don't really care about the rotation that it spawned in, so we'll just pass in the identity matrix. We'll pass in the special value called identity. Basically, it's an enum with 0. Okay, it evaluates to 0. You could basically just add 0 there if you wanted to. So we're going to go ahead and grab the name, and we're just going to give it a friendly name. We're going to call it Proximity Mine 1. We're going to take the spawn params. Oh, by the way, when we're dealing with the entity name, it could be anything you want. It actually does not have to be unique. You could have many entities with the same name, although it's kind of counterintuitive because this name is used to grab your entity by name. So let's say you want to get a handle on your entity. So you tell your entity system to get your entity by name. So you would pass in this Proximity Mine 1 and return the entity with that name. If you have multiple entities with that name, it will just return the first one it finds, so it could end up in problems. So I recommend it being unique, although it doesn't have to be. We're going to take the spawn params, and we're going to grab the position. Now, what position do we want it in? Well, we want it in the player's position. We're going to throw the entity. We want it in our position, maybe arm height, maybe 1.5 meters up, so like chest level. So we're going to do this. We're going to take our P. Well, the player input class actually saves the player actor with m_p player. So we're going to take the player, we're going to get the entity that's associated with the player, and we're going to get world position. Now that we've got the world position, we're going to add 1.5 meters on Z, because when you're talking about actors, the position is at their feet. That's where it's going to return. So you want to offset it by, let's say, 1.5 meters in the Z. That way we get the chest area. When we throw it, we want to spawn it towards the chest area. So get the world position plus 0x, 0y, 1.5 meters, positive Z. Next, we want the scale. We don't really want to scale at anything. We'll take the geometry's size when it was exported from 3D Studio Max or Maya. So we'll just basically say, hey, vector 3, you're going to be 1, 1, 1. You're going to keep the same scale. Everything's going to be multiplied by 1. Nice. Now that we've done that, we can successfully spawn our entity by passing in the spawn params. Absolutely beautiful. Now, this function, spawn entity, does return the entity that was spawned. So, entity p spawn ent. Actually, we'll call it p proximity mine. Give it a better name there. So, the proximity mine. Now, the proximity mine variable will be null if it was not able to spawn the entity. Maybe we passed in a wrong parameter, a wrong entity class. So we're going to check if the proximity mine did exist. Now what are we going to do? Well, when we spawn our entity, it will stay in the position that we told it because we don't have any physics on it. It's just a geometry model, no physics at all. It does have collision because we told our mine to have collision, but it won't like fall to the ground or just stick in place in the air. So we need to add physics to it, an actual rigid body simulation to it, so that we can actually throw it and have it like throw and go in that velocity in the way we want it. So we're going to do that in the next task. Thank you very much. Hope you enjoy.